China has the most sophisticated internet censorship apparatus in the entire world. If you post anything criticizing the Chinese government, your post will be blocked and erased within seconds, if you are even able to post it in the first place. Your location and internet activity are tied to your national ID, and you will be immediately detained and investigated by the police. Sometimes, within minutes of going live, people's apartments have been raided and the live streamers whisked away. Someone posts an image of a protest in a specific location, it will be erased, keywords will be blocked, and not only will the poster get into trouble, but the police will go as far as to physically censor the area. Like the time they took down actual street signs or removed locations off of GPS maps. What I'm getting at here is that the Chinese government has an incredibly tight grip on what happens on the internet. The only things that are allowed to be posted publicly on the Chinese internet are things that the Chinese government allows to be posted. So, why is it that thousands of videos of brutal cat torture are allowed? Why are verified cat torture channels with huge audiences and large followings allowed to exist? People are receiving money, gifts, and praise for doing the most inhumane and unspeakable acts of brutal torture against helpless kittens and cats. How can this be allowed? We're going to delve into this sordid topic, but also look at a positive development on how people are fighting back. Before we do, it is my great pleasure to offer you an amazing gift idea for the holiday season. So here in the USA, people are getting ready for family holidays. We have Thanksgiving and... oh no, is that George Michael I'm hearing on the mall PA? Ugh, get out of here, mate. Either way, it's time to start thinking about gifts. Have you heard of Extra wallets? These remarkably slick wallets come in many flavors that suit anyone's tastes. Sumptuous leather too. They make a great gift for yourself or others. Already have an Extra wallet? Add one of their coin holders or money clip backplates. They also have stylish key holders, tracker cards, and more. And right now you can get a serious Black Friday discount of up to 55% off if you go to partner.extra.com/SerpentZA and use the code SerpentZA. Avoid the rush. Treat yourself or your loved ones to something stylish, high-tech, and quality. Go to partner.extra.com/SerpentZA and use the code SerpentZA. And now, back to the show. I must approach this topic from a non-emotional angle, as animal abuse is something that greatly upsets me, and I'm sure, dear viewer, it upsets you too. The truth is that the Chinese government enables, encourages, and condones these animal abusers. It's not actually a question of if Chinese people brutally torture kittens for pleasure and profit, but why they carry out these depraved acts, and why it has become such a massive mainland Chinese phenomenon. I know that if I showed even a smidgen of the awful Chinese animal abuse I've seen, that it would deeply upset you and possibly even mentally scar some of you. I know there are certain images and scenes that I've personally witnessed that I can't erase from my mind. And so I would never want to inflict that on anyone. That is why I've decided not to include any footage of what I've talked about in this video. You can fairly easily find out what I'm talking about, even here on YouTube, with a quick search. A few cases of sickos getting their kicks out of the brutal suffering and killing of helpless animals can perhaps be expected, no matter where you are in the world. I mean, it's well documented that serial killers often start off by killing and hurting small helpless animals. But when thousands of cases pop up unchallenged, with massive amounts of viewers and support, you know something is broken. Why is it that someone in China is allowed to film and post videos of themselves torturing kittens in unspeakable ways in front of the mother cat, to the applause of the many viewers they have and not get into any trouble? How is this possible? Simple. The Chinese government condones and enables animal torture. How does the CCP condone and encourage this behavior? By having absolutely zero animal abuse laws. You heard me. Zero. Nada. Zip. Geen. Nil. Nashi. Bingo. Look, I know Xi Jinping himself isn't saying to torture animals is glorious. But think about it this way. If there were no laws against murder, certainly people would be emboldened to just murder whoever annoyed them because, well, there are no legal repercussions. Imagine there were no laws against drunken driving. Well, just about everyone would drive drunk. And that's because the government is condoning your bad behavior by not making it illegal or punishable. Animal torture is rampant in China. I've unfortunately witnessed it firsthand. And although I tried to ignore it and even excuse it for the longest time, trying to justify to myself that it's only a case of a minority group of uneducated people taking part in these terrible acts, unfortunately, that's not the case. Animal abuse is widespread and an accepted fact of mainland Chinese life. The brutal dog meat trade is simply a part of life, and people don't bat an eyelid when seeing a dog in distress on its way to a brutal death, or the carcass of a dog freshly tortured and burned alive hanging in a store window. Remember, the dog butchers purposefully torture the poor animals to death, as it is widely believed that dog meat is far better if the animal died under extreme stress. I wish I were making that up. Even in the biggest and most sophisticated cities, cooking animals alive is common, with restaurants that specialize in allowing you to cook your seafood live on your table. You can steam or boil a live octopus on your table, for example. There are also plenty of common Chinese dishes that allow you to eat live animals and seafood. You know, the three screams or dancing shrimp salad, that kind of thing. With no animal abuse laws, anything goes, and this allows the worst parts of human nature to come to the forefront. Sadistic sickos can gain pleasure and profit by finding more and more inventive ways to torture animals, and cats have become a popular target. The thing is, many Chinese people do object to this horrible behavior, and some have even tried to shut these guys down, and have sometimes succeeded in getting them disciplined by their universities or talked to by the police. But since there's no law against torturing animals, it's a constant uphill battle. Worse still, these horrific videos and accounts are spreading overseas on apps like X, formerly known as Twitter. But here's where I can share a bit of positive news. I've been in contact with people who are actively getting these horrific accounts suspended and shut down. Unfortunately, it's a game of whack-a-mole as new accounts keep popping up, sharing the most horrific content imaginable. It's very difficult to stem the tide. There are also groups that organize protests calling for the end of Chinese cat torture and abuse, often outside Chinese embassies. It's good to see that people are protesting for the very noble cause of ending animal abuse in China. What I'd like you to take away from this video is that China, with its bluster about having a space program and being advanced with flashy hollow cities, is a country where the most vulnerable of creatures are not protected or defended. China is a country where being born an animal is to be born into hell. Please support the groups that stand up for animal rights in China. And as always, stay awesome.